go ahead and briefly tell you how you take advantage of all the luxuries that are offered to you during this show. Because like I said, this show is more about you than it is about me. All right. So when I say that, that means I talk all week. You know, I go on live, I talk to you all, give you my opinions, talk about things that I do and don't like. This time, instead of just being in the comment section, you get an opportunity to come onto the show, talk about the topics that we are speaking on, maybe briefly, sometime off topic. People do get off topic. That's all right. We can do that sometimes. And take part in the content creation. All right. So how do you do that? Well, first, you're going to need a laptop or a desktop. Now, you can still join the audience in live studio with a tablet or a mobile phone. But the thing that the laptop or the desktop allows you to do is to join in on the conversation by doing a live call in and coming on to the show and actually saying what you have to say. So that's how you're going to do that. You're going to need to use Google Chrome or Microsoft Edge. Do not use Firefox. Those browsers are no bueno. They're no good. Okay. So that is how you do that. Now, there is a link in the live chat and there is a link in the description. If you click that link, it's going to bring you in studio. When you get ready to pose your question or whatever you got to say, it'll come up. I'll read that briefly, synopsis of what you're wanting to say, and then boom, I bring you on and we're off. But before we even get started into these topics that we have, we are going to give a moment of silence on a day that was very impactful to many of us, especially here in the United States of America and maybe throughout the world, depending on where you were, where your family members were. I don't know if you lost somebody. I don't know if it impacted you yourself. Whatever the case may be, charge forward, keep your head up, and let's stay strong. But what I will say after a moment of silence is something I want to get across. So for a second, we're going to just bow our heads. Peace and love to everybody. I can remember on that day, at least, the country seemed more unified than ever. And I wish that feeling of unification would come back. And while we have somebody like Helmut Marko making very racial statements or comments toward Perez, and we're going to get into that, I also will talk about certain platforms. All right, I'm going to talk about certain platforms that tend to keep their head stuck in the sand and their thumb up their ass when it comes to certain topics as this. All right. Certain platforms like to play it safe and cool so they can get that question or get that guest or perhaps get a little bit more information from the inside knowledge of Formula One by looking the other way when things like this have been consistently building. Things like this consistently build over time and they don't say anything about it. They don't post any videos about it. As a matter of fact, most platforms explain away situations like this by bringing up Checo's performance. Oh, it's not racist. It's not them attacking him. It's just his performance. You know, it would have said it about anybody. But the moment it gets so loud, so undeniable, so cool, now it's cool to do, they put videos about it. They want to make videos about it now. Now they want to get in it when it might be safe. Oh, okay, well, is it okay for us to touch this topic, Formula One, and still be able to come to the press conference? Is it okay for us to touch this topic, Red Bull or anybody else, and still be able to come down to your garage? That's when they want to do something. They want to say something. It's too late then. You didn't want to stand up for what was right then. So why don't you just keep playing your safe content? Keep doing that. Don't do it when it's cool. Okay? That's all I'm saying. Don't do it when it's just cool. Do it when you see it. Because I've been calling these things out as they've been gradually building. Some of these guys didn't even want to say anything about the statements Helmut Marko made when he talked about tequila. And so many people wanted to just explain it away like, oh, it doesn't mean anything. Now they want to add that to the pile when they talk about it now. Now that Helmut Marko just went over the top. Okay? Now, Baraka already coming on, and we ain't even on the Helmut Marko segment, and I'm going to let him get his F1 minute. I'm bringing my brother Baraka on right damn now. Let's get it. Brother man, let's go. Oh, man, mic check. You ain't on yet. You ain't on. I can't hear you. All right. Got you. Baraka's going to come right back. He's going to get the mic check done. He's going to come right back, all right? So I'm going to stop this thing like that, but I'm sending shots at all those platforms. Don't do it when it's cool. Do it when it's needed. Don't sit there in the press conference with your head down and you got something to say. Say it. Don't wait till Perez has already been ultimately disrespected and now there's not a performance accolade or a performance downside that you can mention to explain away Helmut Marko's comments. But before we get deep in that, all right, before we get too deep in that, Baraka was already going to come back. Can somebody please talk to me? What does HAAS need to do? What do they need to do? I mean, what do you? This is not about me. This is not about me. This is about you. What do you think HAAS needs to do in order to turn around and be competitive? Baraka's coming back. He said Marko is a PR nightmare. Looks like we're going to be jumping around like jumping jacks today, y'all. We're going to be jumping around like jumping jacks. Baraka, bro, let me get that mic check from you, bro.
Am I good?
Yeah.
All
now
right.
we live. Now we live, bro.
Live and direct.
Live and direct. What we got, man?
So I know the topic is not on Marko at the moment right now, but I wanted to get something off my chest.
Go ahead.
Like, first off, I know it's like I'm probably side-eyed by Wolfpack family members for being one of the lone Red Bull guys in the fam. But I think that weekend, once that news was put about Marko's words, oddly enough, a lot of Red Bull fans were kind of disappointed. Like a lot of on Twitter, some people with Max Verstappen profiles were legit disappointed that Marko said those words because, again, yeah, you could say Checo hasn't had the best of seasons compared to last season in 2021. Right. But the excuse Marko made, I don't think is you can't really defend it. And you saw Red Bull news accounts posting is like, hey, we don't like what Marko said. We don't condone such words. We love the sport. We love our team Red Bull, but we just can't condone what Marko said. And what sucks even more, what people don't realize is, any other company, when someone higher up says this, there's people that would say, hey, we don't want you in this company no more, or just take some time off. But the issue is how Red Bull is set up. Christian Horner, yes, while he owns the team, he runs and owns everything in that team bar one person. And that is sadly Helmut Marko. To the point, just last month, there's an article that says Christian Horner himself said Marko is a PR nightmare. He's a PR nightmare. It's like when he goes rogue, he hates it when he goes rogue. And he went rogue last weekend. Facts. And it's like, and Horner can't really do anything about him because honestly, well, yes, he controls everything in Red Bull Racing. He has no control of what Marko does. To the point, I think, yeah, Marko is the boss of Horner, even though he doesn't own the team, but he owns Horner. So I'm not excusing the words that he said. It's indefensible, but man, I don't know what Horner's going to do with Marko. He has to do something because, again, this can't keep on continuing. The words about Checo, even last year, I can't remember, he'd say he drank too much tequila sometimes, or what he said about Yuki. It's disappointingly, it's annoyingly frustrating.
Right.
And I love F1. Yeah, Red Bull's my team and all that. Honda Tax may be involved in it for the time being until they move to Aston Martin. Then I may have some half allegiances wherever. But this can't go on. He has to at least know is like this isn't the 1900s anymore. What you've done back in the early 90s, late 90s, early 2000s doesn't fly anymore. The words that you say doesn't fly.
Right.
The words are harmful back then, but no one was going to press about it because it's like, hey,
that's what I'm saying.
It is what it is. But now it's like, hey, man, you got a massive platform. You're one of the bosses of the biggest team on the grid.
Right.
You were best friends with said owner that passed away last year. Like he was, I wouldn't say best friends, but he was well acquainted with Dietrich Mateschitz. You cannot do this, man. Those words it cannot fly. Yeah, he apologized. Yeah, he kind of backtracked his statements like, hey, that wasn't my intention. Which, okay, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Will you though? After all the other times, you're gonna give him the benefit of the doubt?
Nah.
Can you really, bro?
I can't. I'm trying. It's like I'm trying to be. It's like that's the political answer though.
Right,
But
right.
he still said it though. He still said it,
Still said it.
and he probably needs he. And this next, I think this next race, he has to probably put Checo to the side and apologize. He probably already apologized to Checo that we may not know about. I
That
don't
could
know.
be true. That could be
He
true.
could have. He could have been true after the news went out. He probably could have talked to Checo personally. Who knows? But at the end of the day, he still said it. Those
Facts.
words does. It's like I'm not. I don't want to be all like politically correct and all that. But you know, sometimes you gotta just be careful of what you say
Right. That's true,
because
bro.
he said it himself. It wasn't his intention. He still said it. I
Still
could
said
cuss
it.
a man out. I could cuss a man out and say, "Oh, I didn't mean it that way," but I still said it.
Right. At some point, your
So yeah,
intentions really do not matter. So when you
yeah.
saying it wasn't your intentions doesn't matter. You said it, and that's the
He's,
way it was taken. It was perceived when you put it out
yeah.
there. And yeah, you
So
got a point, man.
and I don't know if it's like the whole Eurocentric thing that goes on, but even in other sports, especially that the Europeans involved in, like for example, soccer. You know, yeah, they probably
Oh
would
man.
acknowledge like South American talent and all that, but it's like when it comes to Americans and all that, you know, or someone outside of that Eurocentric bubble,
Right.
they'll slate him. They'll slate them to the moon and back. They will say god awful words
Yeah,
about
don't
them.
forget
But
we had that soccer player, that football player that was calling him monkey and all that on
yeah,
stage. Lewis Hamilton had to talk about that.
yeah, you got Romelu Lukaku who's get monkey chants in Italy from opposing fans and the fans of their own team
Of their
excusing it.
own team.
You have I don't know how much involved, but there's a pundit on I think it's BBC or Sky Sports. When Paul Pogba was playing for Man United, even when situations doesn't involve him, he manages to bring him up every time for no good reason whatsoever. He's a black French player. He's a French black player. I think it's just a whole white Eurocentric mentality that not many people realize or notice it, but it's a issue,
It
and
is.
not just F1, but almost every sport in Europe that involves having international players. It is sad to see. That's all I have to say. It's very sad and disappointing.
It is, brother, man. Appreciate you, Barack, for saying that. And guess what, brother? I don't
Yeah.
look at you side-eyed.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't look at my brother side-eye. He just be talking real. So we got Uno coming in next, and then we got Alex after that. Uno coming in hot. Let's go ahead, brother, man. You got your F1 minute. Let's spit those facts. Let's see what the kind of opinions you got on that. Then give me a mic check first, Uno. My brother, give me a mic check.
Check 1 2 check.
Boom,
1 2.
we in there.
How
We
I
in there,
do?
brother.
How
You
do
got
I
it.
do?
You got it. Go ahead, brother.
Blessings to those that passed away in the 9/11 anniversary, and blessings to those that passed away in the earthquake. Right now,
Facts.
this is no blessings to that HAAS team, and you're gonna love this, my bro. Ready?
I'm ready.
You ready?
I'm ready.
HAAS needs to actually step up. Like I put there, Gene is now ice cream. He's melted the name, he's melted the facts, he's melted the show. Because as it's supposed to be American team, where's American drivers? And as it's supposed to be representing American team, what the hell have we gotten? We got backlash, crap, Gunter making up Pookie Pig styles. And above all, they're not spending much money to try and get parts for the car. So, you got those two drivers that are struggling to get through. They're getting blamed for the destruction of the car. They're getting blamed for their skills. And more importantly, they're blaming Gunter. Although Gunter is a dumbass to go and take his place with the team and think he's doing a great job, he ain't doing recollection, because at the end of the day, you don't hear from that man, Gene HAAS, who's supposed to come on and do what he's supposed to do. That is, push the team, fight the team, speak the team, cuss the team, beat the team, and hammer it. That's what Americans do. We get the hammer and we drive the nail through, hammering away. That's what we're gonna do.
Do
do I need to actually carry on being like an American? Because that's where I notice it from Americans. All right. So I've been getting the same thing when I was coming back from Jamaica and all America. Why you speaking American, Pat? Why you speaking American for, kid? You're not American. Excuse me. Identify, like you see this guy here. Identify with the people that we are in the nation. Identify with a race that is a race, right? A race of people, a race of nationality, a race of creed, and a race of origins. So, what in hell is going on with this thing called HAAS when it's supposed to be like what I made that caption of? Has been. Because they're not being a recognized team to represent America. And Gene Haas, you're just only putting money into this team to try and gain more money back in your goddamn pocket, and you're not making anything as a progress. You're making yourself as a shamed American. When there is one damn American team that want to come in, and who that is? The Andretti's.
Andretti's.
Right? There you go.
Right.
The Andretti's. And what they were told to do, put more money into the kitty. Put more money into the fee. Put more money, put more money, put more money. When they do that, they still got kicked to the curb.
Still got kicked to the curb.
And then above all, on top of that, yeah, they got this one still sitting there. Still sitting there like a parakeet waiting for flipping crackers. And no one's giving the crackers because why? They don't seem to see that bird is not making enough progress, not making enough tally, and not making any factual money coming into them. All they're just doing is carrying that dumbass name, and you see them still sitting way down below and still crying like a freaking ass wolf. And it's not no mimic on your name, no. It's the wolves packs, right? That are howling and saying, get the team out.
Right.
Gene Haas is done. Bring in the Andretti's. We're saying that many a times. We're saying that over like a repeated record that's stuck on the needle, and you damn well have to go and get a fresh needle to play the record. Right? But all the time, it's just going on deaf ears because that guy is not getting it. That guy is not listening to it. And above all, you don't even see Gene Haas come to make any appearance to say like, oh, I'm coming to see how my team is doing. You're getting Gunter running around, like I said, doing Porky Pig's actions, and all the time coming like a dumbass Warner Brothers cartoon. And it's not making any sense. So when you got that saying, what Haas need to do? Haas needs to get the hell out. Because above all, they're just wasting, taking that damn space when another team could have come in and make a better traction, a better entertainment, and a better joy in sport, where that money, what all the other 9 teams are complaining about, that 10th one that could have been, could make it treble.
Gotcha.
Treble, all right? And it's not something that the others should be worried about of getting a piece of the pie, because that pie will get maximized. Remember what I said? More business come in, more sponsorship. Where are they? Answer that. Where exactly are those businesses and the sponsorship? All we getting is tornado, twisted every goddamn time. Worse than the Italians doing the damn knife and fork spaghetti thing. Right? We don't need that. What we need is another team taking over this team, has quit, goes on to do the India car races, and stick with that. Because above all,
NASCAR.
Yeah, and that as well. He's made enough money, right? So he can carry on concentrating on that. What the hell is he trying to concentrate on this Formula One? Huh? What the hell is he concentrating when he's not there? He's not even in the zone.
All right, brother man. Hold on, brother man. Don't go too off, man. We're going to let Alex get in here.
Come in, let her come in.
We got you coming back, Uno.
Come in.
All right, my brother. Yeah, Uno, he's like all over HAAS. Like, damn, Gene, you might get fired by Uno tonight. Alex coming in hot. Then we got Baraka coming in next. An uncomfortable conversation for HAAS. Alex, what's happening?
What's up? What's up?
What's the business?
This Marko situation existing when you are not really shocked, not really surprised, but you just know that things like this exist. And what he did was not a joke. He wasn't playing. He said it was, I don't know what he said, it was taken out of context or whatever. But like I said, if he's saying like things like this jokingly, imagine what he's saying for real when he's actually upset, when Checo actually puts that car into a wall. Imagine the stuff that he's actually saying. And I refuse to believe Austrian white man born in the year of our Lord 1940 whatever does not understand racism and how things work in the world. That just don't make no sense to me.
Right.
Let's look at history, right? And racism is profitable in F1. Let's just be real. Tribalism is profitable in F1. People admitted to getting engagement and clicks off of dog whistle comments. Journalists have admitted to this. So it's not like, you know, there's an incentive to stop these things. Quite the opposite. They're making money off of it.
Fire.
It's crazy. Like, if I was Checo, workplace harassment suit, screw all y'all. Max, I'll see you later. I might never ever race in F1 again, but I'm gonna buy me a team with this $1 billion that I just got from y'all because I can't perform my functions and duties in as an employee here. Like, that's not cool. And I really hope Mexican GP I hope they go crazy. I hope they go crazy. Marko needs to leave the team. There is poison in Red Bull. We always have known this. It is systemic, it is cultural, and it starts at the top. And when you are allowed to say things like this, when your driver's father-in-law, future father-in-law, has been banned from the paddock for saying racist things, it's systemic. These things infiltrate and continue to spread out. That's all. That's it.
Hey, every time she come on, she be dropping some bars, goddamn. For real.
It's crazy. Facts. They got too much money. When you got too much money, you just forget. It don't make no sense. Esteban all right this way, Lewis all right this way. Why? Because they got it out the mud. They understand. They got too much money. This man has a PhD in law, I think. From who? From where? Who granted? Where? He can't even get his slurs right. Mexico, South America?
Right. What we doing?
Insult me properly if you're going to insult me.
Ooh, facts.
Try harder. It's just embarrassing.
Facts. That's all for right now. Adam said that's all for right now. Here we go. Baraka, uncomfortable conversations for HAAS. Roll it in. Man, this might be a plane. This might be one of those nights, y'all.
Well, first off, before I start, I want to give a shout out to Alex.
Yes.
First off, I like your Braves hat.
You like the hat? I knew you was gonna say it.
I like the Braves hat. You know, I'm right. Here it is. First off, we're riding off a high so far in Georgia. Both Georgia and Tech won. Bama lost. Falcons won. The Braves locked themselves in the playoffs. We are on a high.
You up right now.
We up right now.
If you could get the shitty birds to come on up, you might have something going.
Hey, once the NBA season, if once the NBA season starts and the Hawks, I can't wait. But back on topic though. HAAS, where do I begin? When they first came into the sport, yeah, of course, new teams, they're getting their feet wet. But ever since they came in, you started seeing like a gradual uptick in performance within the car and within the team. And that's probably the advantage of being, very closely tight-knit with Ferrari. But after the 2020 season, I feel like things started to stagnate and then started to decline. Now, I don't know what goes on because first off, you share the wind tunnel with Ferrari. Yeah, I know probably the FIA officials are there to make sure there's no funny business going on. But let's be real, this is not the first time, HAAS copied from Ferrari. Even with the current regs, even the previous regs, they found out there's some similarities. And that's just the consequence of them sharing the same wind tunnel. So yeah, Ferrari, they're their own mess, but they're still on the top half of the grid. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on at HAAS that you're being supplied Ferrari engines and Ferrari parts. What's not working that somehow Ferrari, with the crap fest they're dealing with, would manage a good result, a decent race, even a podium every now and then? Because Leclerc put that car on podium a couple times. Impressive, yes. So I'm trying to figure out how. Yeah, Kevin Magnussen and who's the other driver? I'm blanking right now.
Nico.
Actually, Nico has been having a season of his life.
He's been having a better season than K-Man.
He's been putting that car in the points where, let's be real, it shouldn't be even near.
I can go with that.
So, Gene Haas, I don't know what's going on because right now Stuart Haas Racing in NASCAR, they've been kind of on the high, even though there's the playoffs right now, and it seems like they're outside of Kevin Harvick, who's been dragging that team. they're probably going to be out the next round in the playoffs. So I don't know what's going on with Haas. That they're being pumped full of money from either from Gene Haas or sponsorship.
Right.
So it's like the money situation is there. They got the money. Do they have the talent? Maybe, maybe not. But they have rumored allegedly some Ferrari engineers. So okay, being a Ferrari engineer makes you one of the best on paper, the best.
Right.
In practice, it seems like Mercedes and Red Bull have got their number. So I'm like sitting here is like, okay, they have probably some engineers that are capable of putting in a good car. They got the Ferrari engine, which on a given date would cook.
Right.
They pretty much copied Ferrari from head to toe in terms of the aerodynamics.
Got so much so they were deemed a white Ferrari.
Yeah, they were deemed the right. I called them the American Ferrari. And, every time they had a good result, bro, I'm playing the Star Spangled Banner out loud on my phone. So I don't know what's not clicking.
You know what? I would be interested to see how much money Haas spends each season.
That's a legit question.
I need to see that. I need to see that because depending on that might tell me how seriously you're invested in trying to be better each season. Like I would be interested to see how much they're spending. Like how close are they to exceeding the cost cap? Or are they so far under? It's like there's no way you're spending that amount of money and legitimately being competitive. Could the Haas team be one of the biggest money laundering scams in USA history in Formula One?
Possibly.
Because man, I'm just saying, like you said. Now, I will give them this. Ferrari abandoned their concept after they said there were no issues with the concept. We saw Ferrari abandon. They went a different direction.
Yeah.
Could it be possible Haas does not have maybe the resources to do that? But at the same time, Haas didn't make many upgrades last season. They were like one team. They were the last team to really implement an upgrade outside the front wing end plate. Like they spent so much time on front wing end plate elements.
Yeah.
We were waiting for it to finally, like, when are they really going to do something? They came out, they had the white Ferrari, and it was like, that really was it. Really wasn't much after that. So I would just be interested to see how much money are Haas spending to be competitive. Now they got MoneyGram, and we thought, wow, finally they got a legitimate sponsor. MoneyGram's going to be out after a year. Alfa Romeo's coming in next season. And here we go again with this constant carousel of sponsorship with Haas.
I don't know.
It's just something funny about Haas, man. I'm not sold on it, man. It's just something that don't seem right.
Something seems off for sure. And the fact that you got Andretti, who just rebranded into Andretti Global. So that rebrand doesn't tell you, it's like, yeah, we're serious about what coming into F1. They thought that them getting that GM deal with Cadillac wasn't serious enough. We just rebranded. We're still Andretti, but we're not Andretti Autosport. We're Andretti global. We're global now. Because they got an FE team, they got an XE team, they got, of course, their IndyCar team. They got a V8 supercar team down in Australia.
Bro, they in so many different race series tonight. They're serious.
They're serious. Do I believe that they're spreading themselves too thin? I'm a firm believer of that. Especially
that could be something.
Especially for their IndyCar program, seeing how this year has been. It's been lackluster this year for them in IndyCar. Even though, they got I think Kirkwood won 2 races. If I could remember or something.
Right. I would like to see them decrease a little bit. I would like to see them decrease. Maybe focus in on
I would like
IndyCar.
to see them IndyCar, F1, Formula E. I don't think XE's they should probably leave XE.
Yeah.
Their supercar development, they should keep that because they have a pipeline from another continent, a country in Australia. So they're serious. And if Haas doesn't fix up, they may be looking a bit shaky once the FIA and F1. Here's the FIA themselves. Say what you want about the FIA. They said, we are 100% for Andretti for F1.
Now here, check this out before you go, Barack. Check this out. Andretti is an Extreme E, Formula E, IMSA, Indy Next, IndyCar, Super Copa, and Supercars. I do believe you're hitting on something where you can say a little bit spread thin, kind of take some of these resources, maybe power pack into Formula E for sure. Indy Next, IndyCar, maybe Indy next because you kind of want to have that walk up, but Super Copa, Supercars, one of those can go.
Yeah, I say Supercar could stay because again that pipeline from Australia.
I'm with you on that. Super Copa can go and Extreme E can go.
Extreme E can because I don't think they will ever leave. They just won. They had their driver win the championship there.
Right.
And
so I think that.
So if Haas don't fix up, and if F1 could stop being some greedy SOBs and allow them to join the grid. Yeah, of course they're probably going to start the season off slow. Okay. Every team that comes in, they're getting their feet wet. So for the first couple seasons, it's going to be a rough watch as an Andretti fan. Let's not beat around the bush.
Okay.
But once they start clicking, and Haas hasn't clicked yet, then I always say spooky hours.
Right, spooky hours. There you go, bro.
Spooky hours.
All right, man. Let's get some of all the brothers and sisters up here, man. Marko, appreciate you, brother. Hey, by the way, we got Will I Am in the super chat on the YouTube. Say, what's up, fam? I'm a bit busy, but listening. Shout out to everyone calling in. Barack Obama slapped the second last card down. Uno, me brethren, Alex the Great, and Jay always holding it down. Will I Am also says, by the way, big shout out. Will, hope you safe. Hope you get everything done. Has anyone purchased Slap Your Mama in a spices? Yeah, I have. And the spices are pretty good. Yes, they are. I don't know what it is. It has to do with F1 Minute, but slap that like button. All right. Hey, damn, you got me on that one. All right, so here we go. We got Uno coming up. Then we got Lewis can win this year. Oh my gosh. I don't know who that is. We're gonna see who that is. You know what? Something as complicated as that is because Barack Obama just went off. It gotta be Kenny B. Lewis can win this year, but we got Uno coming in. Let's let him spit his hard facts. F1 Minute, 60 seconds hard until we kind of get everybody else out of here. Let's go 60 seconds hard. Let's go ahead. Go Uno. Go ahead, bro. What you got?
Check 1, 2. All right, here's what I got. You heard what I put there of Helmut. Marko is now Helmut Darko because at the end of the day, he's more like Darth fucking Vader. And I'm sorry with that F word, but that's how he's gonna be labeled, right? Because every damn time he's need that theme tune of his. Because how the hell can you go ahead and diss your driver that you come in from Racing Point, right? Nearly got out of the seat of Racing Point to become Aston Martin, and then all of a sudden now given this opportunity, and you can see the guy's working his damn hardest. What makes him go and take his mouth and fire it like an arrow at Checo's family? Disrespect his country, disrespect his skills, and disrespect his quality, right? At that same time again, I got really frustrated on that because if I was Checo, you know what I would do? P45, letter of recommendation, and a good reference. That's my catchphrase. When any time I work in a job and anyone disrespect me, I said to them, you see that door I came through? I could walk out of it. So 3 things: P45, letter of recommendation, and a good reference. And see my ass. Goodbye, cause I'm done.
Facts,
right?
Uno, facts.
So
facts,
that's what Checo should do.
Facts. He said P45. He said, see my black ass walk out the door. Uno snapping the night. Hey, Uno said, hey, Perez, Uno said you need to go ahead and get your HR situation straight, brother. All right, we got Lewis can win this year with these shenanigans, man. If I see my brother, I'm telling you, gotta be Kenny B. I
did not say Lewis can win this year.
Lewis, hey, man, that's what it said right there, man. Oh, you got a little echo. It says on your thing, says, who changed your Lewis can win this year?
Nah, I shouldn't have an echo.
What I'm going to do is, are you on YouTube too, as well as studio?
No, I took it off my phone. And the YouTube, I muted.
Okay, that's
is it still there?
What I'm going to do is I'm going to
No, I got it. I just deleted the YouTube. Is it still an echo?
All right. Yeah, it's still an echo. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Go ahead and get your point, bro. I got you.
Okay, so this is the thing. And you hit on 2 points that kind of got me. So first of all, y'all, apology. I know your people in the background banned me, and I probably said something I shouldn't have said, so I ain't mad. That was like 2 weeks ago, but that's cool. Yeah, you gotta be a man about these things, right? Red Bull got bigger problems. I said Red Bull had bigger problems than Helmut Marko. What people don't understand is Helmut Marko has been the same person all this time. He's the same person he's always been. He's always been tough on the young drivers. That's his MO. And it's almost like a driver's mentality of being over aggressive or having to be over aggressive to be a champion. That's been the model for drivers for so many years. And that's what Danica, I think that's what Danica was trying to get across to people. Look, women just entering into this foray, and we're coming up against this. And if we don't adopt some of the same ideas, we can't be as successful. Well, Helmut Marko has been the same way. He's been overly aggressive on critiquing drivers. They use very scientific ways to do it, but he's still been over aggressive in doing that. That made him come out and say some really questionable things about Max. I mean, not Max. Perez.
Checo.
Yeah, and it's like drinking. It just brings out the real you. Every now and then, when stress gets there and you done had enough and you just want to get it over with, just like they got rid of old boy at AlphaTauri, they will just forget their place or forget who they are, forget who's watching them, forget they got cameras on them, and say what's really on their mind, and that's what you get. It don't change. They're not going to get rid of him. He just allowed you to see who he really is. That's all.
Good point, my brother. I'm gonna make my point because I echo. I'm gonna bring you back on.
Okay.
Hey, so Kenny B does make a point, not excusing Helmut Marko's actions, not at all, not excusing his comments, which we're gonna take a quick look into those right here. All right. So Sergio seemed to have fallen asleep when the VSC ended. Maybe he drank tequila last night. Okay, now this, you already know I had went in on this because I already saw that glimpse of Helmut Marko already told me what kind of person he was and what he may be obviously saying behind closed doors. I already knew it then. Okay. Then beyond that, what did we have? Okay. Then we got this. He was lucky with his pit stop that gave him the lead. Already kind of, what do you mean he, his, him? That's a team thing. That's a whole team ordeal. Pit stop, Checo's not getting out changing his own tires. Like, it's a strategy for you to have to say that to another driver in order to console them on the situation was something else that was a telltale sign of the division between the treatment or the different treatment or preferential treatment for Max. All right, then here we come. Sergio, on the other hand, is already over 30 and is expecting his fourth child. You don't need to say anything about this man and his kids and his family. So he also has other interests. So you have to see what happens next. That ain't got nothing to do with that. Then what's he do? Now Helmut want to come up here apologizing, and he want to use Dr. Helmut Marko. Like that's supposed to make it any better. Like we supposed to really believe your apology because you won't put doctor on it. Hell, Dr. Phil said a lot of people didn't know whether he was a damn doctor or not. Concerning my remarks about Sergio Perez, Service TV Sports and Talk Monday, September 4th, I would like to apologize for my offensive remark and want to make it absolutely clear that I do not believe that we can generalize about the people from any country, any race, any ethnicity. I was trying to make a point that Checo has fluctuated in his performance this year, but it was wrong to attribute this to his cultural heritage. It was wrong, but that's what you naturally did. That's what you naturally wanted to say. That was what your mind computed and your mouth spit out. That's what you meant. Don't try to say you didn't mean it now because you're getting a lot of flashback abnormally to what you normally would get when you say some of your little hot takes. You went further than what most people are comfortable with. You had already went further than what I was comfortable with, which is why I called you out on your bullshit to begin with. But now, no, you know, that's what you meant. You meant to say that. Why did you mean to say that? Because here we go right here. Let me go. Let's go ahead and let's bring this one in. Let's bring in the most egregious one of all. Let's do that. Let's bring in the most egregious one of all. We know that he has problems in qualifying. He has fluctuations in form. He is South American, and he is just not as completely focused in his head as Max Verstappen is or as Sebastian Vettel is. What are we doing? What are we doing? I don't know what we doing. I know what we doing. But Alex coming in and she finna tell you what we not taking. And what she say is no excuses. Go ahead, Alex. What you got?
It just don't make no sense. I understand how certain team principals have to operate in order to get their drivers to perform a certain way, but that is not appropriate. That should not be the standard. What's old dude at Ferrari team principal? He doesn't have to do that. Doesn't have to do that. Everybody loves him. He treats people with respect. Like, people want to work for him, right? I was always taught, work for somebody that you would want to dig a pile of dirt for, right? That's how you get loyalty. That's how you encourage and inspire people. The math ain't mathing because the formula don't work, right? The formula is he's aggressive, he's racist, he go in, and that's Red Bull. It's only worked twice with Max and Vettel. That's it. And not even with Vettel, because Schumacher was his not hero, trained him up. You know what I'm saying? Like, Helmut had nothing to do. Yeah, exactly. Helmut had nothing to do really with the success of Red Bull, because they have not been successful except for right now and with Vettel. And that's it. And we all know Seb is not that guy. He is not with that poison at all. Unfortunately, he stuck around, but he left. And if you look at the grid, everyone else has left also. Alex Albon, like, the names go on and on. All the people saying that they can't take the heat in that seat. Maybe it's just not a good place to be, period. And it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Why sit through this racist comment and defend your actual body, put your body on the line for this man that hates you and your country and your people? That's not cool. It's not fair.
Damn.
His actual body, Minister of Defense, his life is intended to defend Max Verstappen.
Right.
And you're talking about him as if he is
trash. Thank you.
Not just him, his whole people, his whole country.
Whole culture. Right.
Who you think made him the way he is? Have you seen his dad? He is Mr. Mexico. Like, he made Checo who he is today, who was also a former stock car driver in Mexico. It's not appropriate. That's not how you motivate people. I think anyone that is actually in leadership will tell you that is not motivation. That's fear. And that does not work. It works for Max because Max was abused as a child. He is able to take that abuse from Joss and use it as fuel. That's the only reason Max is that way. Unfortunately, at his own expense. He's great, but damn, do you want to grow up like that? No.
Hey, Alex drop. Hey, y'all put up some fire emojis in the chat for Alex. She over here dropping bars. I want to see some fire emojis in the chat for Alex. Fire emojis in the chat for Alex. Fire emojis in the chat for Baraka. Fire emojis in the chat for Kenny B. Fire emojis for Uno. They up here dropping bars right now. All right, we got Baraka coming in next. Let's go.
First off, I want to say this. Shout out to Alex. He was spitting on that one, because I was gonna like feed into that. It's like, based on the title of what I just said, he still said it. No excuses. I'm sorry, Grandpa. It's not what 19. It's not 1984 now. We're in fucking 2023. Get with the times. I'm sorry.
Facts. Oh my God.
I'm sorry. Get with the times. You can't just say this shit and let it, and it's not gonna fly.
Right.
Heck, even the team principal at your team says you are a nightmare PR wise, and I bet you at some point he's slowly starting to get tired of playing damage control every time.
Right.
So if your own partner in your own team is getting tired of your antics, fix the fuck up.
Right. Right.
Fix up. I'm sorry again, Grandpa. It ain't 1984 anymore. It's 2023. There's no excuses. The fact that you said that about Checo and what Alex said earlier, if you're gonna insult me right. Mexico is not in South America. Last time I checked, I took my geography class and I excelled in it. Last time I checked, Mexico ain't in South America. That's one thing. So he better is like it's best for him not to say anything, man. It's like it's best because again, you'll be surprised. First, it's like if there's two people I hate the most, and it will come as a shock when you go on Twitter.
Oh,
Max fans don't like Yoss ever since stories about how Max's childhood went. If you look at any Yoss prop from any F1 site, you know, you get Max Abby's like, nah. Ever since them stories came out, no one's not even the fan base of the driver that of your son don't like you.
right.
And the second person is Marko. Yeah, he probably may have whatever's left on his right side of the eye. He may find some talent in the junior category, but at some point, it's like your time is done. You've been in this sport since what? I don't know how long he's in this sport, but it's long over. Your retirement is long overdue.
Big facts.
And
brother.
the fact that there's been murmurs about Seb taking his role, I'm guessing he's trying to milk as much as he can before
that time comes.
Gets the boot before that time comes. But at this point, if it's now, so be it. I can't wait. But
facts.
If he just needs to know how to shut up. That's it. Because even during your race weekends, he'd be saying some out of pocket shit. That the fact that even Red Bull themselves would probably be pissed off about.
Right.
Like I bet you Red Bull were kind of pissed off that he was slating Yuki Tsunoda out of the blue.
Right.
Like that, because that's their driver. Yeah, you could probably criticize, but the way he criticized him, come on, dog.
That's what I'm talking
just
about.
Fix up or leave. That's all I gotta say.
Facts, bro. Facts, bro. Hey, and this is the thing. I'm gonna say this. Like Alex said, if you're gonna disrespect me, at least disrespect me correctly. Hello, Marko. South of America is south of Mexico by a long shot. It's still south, brother. Mexico is connected to the United States, and south of America, I mean, Mexico's in between the United States and South America, but it ain't South of America. And that even shows the ignorance and him being, you could imagine if Helmut Marko is saying this, and this is what's really funny to me. This is what's really funny to me. He sat here and used two examples that are purely white standards, not a mix of. He couldn't have even said completely focused as somebody that is currently on the grid. He could have even said Lewis Hamilton. Why didn't he do that? Is it because he thinks or sees Lewis Hamilton because of the color of his skin is inferior still? Focus like Seb, or people want to say, oh, it's because these are two Red Bull drivers. That's why he's saying it, because it's, I mean, come on, man. Come on. What are we doing here? What are we doing? So let's go ahead. We got Uno coming in hot, and we about to switch up our segment. We might keep this one going until we end up going out. But let Uno come in. And first, before Uno gets started, let me go ahead. I see right here we got the mechanic coming in hot with the super chat on YouTube. Says to say he's South American, and that's the reason he can't focus like Max was uncalled for. Facts. That's a Nazi-like kind of talk. Mechanic talking some big fact. Uno says he agrees. Let's go ahead, my brother. You got your what you got for us?
Listen, as we all kind of like spitting bars, spitting flames, Phoenix rising, as the saying goes. This is what we're doing on Rising on Helmut Marko. And what you showed of those comments he's made and tried to come like a dust board. You know, trying to clean up the chalkboard and saying like, oh, sorry, I made a mistake of what I'm writing. Now let's clean it up and start again. Stop. I'll put the caption saying, if you're a boss and you attack your own staff, you're gonna build hatred. When you attack your own staff, you're creating hatred among yourself, and that's what he's done. So Kenny G, I bless you on that what you said about Marko. But Marko, come on, you're a big guy. You come into business, you pick up recruits, you bring in new teams. Look what you've done to these teams, right? You kicked out Albon, you kicked out Bradley, right? Brandon Hartley, remember him? They kicked him out before he even get a chance to sit in the Red Bull, right? Kvyat get kicked out the same way. Albon get kicked out the same way. Gasly get kicked out the same way, right? The only person that did not get kicked out was Daniel Ricciardo. Why? And people were kicking Daniel. People were slatering Daniel Ricciardo, saying, "Oh, he made a grave mistake." Blah blah blah. Why did he step out from Red Bull? The reason why? My guy stepped out of Red Bull because he did not want to go and get Helmut Marko attacking him. He did not want to have Helmut Marko's word on him. He showed his own creation, his own skills, and his driving quality. And at the same time, he go and use his experience on other teams. No matter if he did it with McLaren, but you can see that's what Daniel Ricciardo's done. And then what happens? Daniel Ricciardo come back, but this time driving for AlphaTauri. So that goes to show one person out of all those guys stand up to Marko and showed him that yes, I am who I am. Although he's kind of paving the way with Max Verstappen and saying about Max can actually bring laps on the AlphaTauri. that car has been struggling, right? That car is like a twin sister of HAAS. And you don't even see any qualities. What you did say one time they put all this upcoming upgrades onto the car. Look what happened. Look what happened. The only person who made that car happen is similar to like Lewis is Yuki Tsunoda. But you don't hear Yuki getting praises. You don't hear Yuki's name coming up like a next futuristic driver for that team.
Right.
All you're hearing is Yuki's not making it as much as possible because what? He's not doing much with the car. Oh, look what Yuki's done. Look what happened to who's the other guy? What's the guy that Yuki's driving with now?
You talking about he's driving with right now is Lawson.
Lawson's doing great. Don't get me wrong, but Lawson should come in earlier before Ricciardo comes in.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I agree.
And he should definitely match with Yuki because that's what he's done. But don't forget, Lawson is now stepping into the shoes of that AlphaTauri for a little while before Ricciardo comes back and showing he's getting to learning experience just like what Yuki has done.
Right.
Yuki was the same like Lawson came into the situation. And then what happens? Yuki's name is more branded than Lawson's, than even Ricciardo's, and than even Gasly. But he learned, right? He learned. Look how Yuki's like learning English. Yuki learns. And 2 years of his quality shows his experience. But he does not get that recognition. So Helmut Marko should definitely stop slatering Perez because Perez has been longest in the business. And Perez is just a guy that's trying to show his quality. But I don't think he is getting it with this guy taking a mick with him. And like I just said before I got cut off, he was shooting at his family. That's disrespectful.
Disrespectful. Right.
If I did that to anybody's family, right? If I did that to anybody's family, I'd be a dead man. And if he was in Jamaica and did that, you know what he'd be coming like? A freaking coconut.
Right.
Trust me,
He'd
be getting the machete like the
burning that shit to the white meat. Got you.
Yeah. There you go. And that's it. I done my piece, man. I done my piece. Come on. You just cut that. You just put that last piece on it. So I've done my piece. You know exactly where it's coming.
Facts, bro. Facts. We got Alex coming in. Culture of culture in F1. Oof. All right, there we go. And then we got also, if anybody wants to comment on this next segment, Lando Norris to Red Bull. Would that be a good career decision as we get ready to start rounding third place, getting ready to slide into that home plate? Big shout out to my brother Baraka. Hope everything's okay. Keep us up to tabs. Let us know. But I hope everything is safe. Just want to send him out positive blessings. All right. Alex coming in. Let's roll. You know, she been coming in with those
we're gonna get to the next topics eventually, I guess. But it's just crazy,
Alex,
right?
This one hot.
Yo, like the thing about one of the things I really love about F1 is the different cultures of different teams. Ferrari being from Italy, most of them being from the UK, but roots in elsewhere, right? And those things absolutely have a play in how they perform, how they talk to each other, how they operate. And I think that goes as evidence of Ferrari's almost laissez-faire type of strategy in their pit wall. And other F1 commentators and observers will say, hey, you know, they take a break every day to eat their pasta, and it's a big thing. It's communal, right? But they kind of shady when they say it, right? Like they're just not up to standard, not hitting all their marks, and that's cultural. They can do better, sure, they'll get there, right? But I love that about them. They Italian, like
Right.
That's never gonna leave. Mercedes is German. That precision is never gonna leave, even though they're in the UK. That's fantastic. But when it comes to these perspectives, Uno was just talking about Yuki, who I love Yuki, right? But they do not give Yuki the same respect that they give Kimi.
Say it.
Kimi could call you, your mama, your daddy, all types of names in a book, and you gonna laugh at him, or you be like, oh, that's Kimi. Oh, that's the Iceman. Yuki has one moment where he's upset, and now he has a mental health coach. Not saying that that's wrong.
Right.
I would like a mental health coach. Everyone, I'm sure, could benefit for that. But it's why they gave it to him. Kimi was on the stage, drunk as crap, doing whatever he wants, and no one said a thing. He got away with it because this person is of color, Yuki. It's just another example of how they how they change the perspective and how they shift and make the narrative. Right. That's it. I love the culture of the culture. I love all these teams. I wish there's a Japanese, like Honda's here, but I wish there was more. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like all these teams do bring in different things from their culture, which should be celebrated.
True.
There should be tequila everywhere in the Red Bull paddock. Because if that's his thing, put it everywhere.
Put it everywhere.
You know what I'm saying? Like you don't have to disrespect somebody like that. You can celebrate it.
Facts.
That's it. That's all I got.
That shit. That's another. Hey, Alex hot with these bars. I don't even think the whole Lando Norris even give a damn about that. I'm gonna tell you right now. I think today's episode was very vibrant. This is a place you want to come. Some people say it's a therapy session. That's fine. We got to come. Let these feelings, let these thoughts out. That's why I give this platform up to you all so you all can come and do that besides just being in the comment section. I don't think enough content creators do it and watching. Then next thing you know, you'll see somebody doing it just like you see these content creators. Now they want to get in on the Helmut Marko dirty stuff. Any other time, like I said, they want to keep their head in the sand, they thumb in their ass, and they want to be quiet and be very cool and cordial about it. That's not what we doing right here. But I will say this, I'm gonna put this on the screen again as we get ready to close out. Helmut Marko, this statement right here was the cherry on top. And it's not like you don't have whipped cream, nuts, bananas, all types of 3-scoop sundaes. You've done more. You've said a lot. And now you've gotten to the point where even Red Bull fans, some Red Bull fans are very turned off by it. There are still some delusional and very, very disrespectful Red Bull fans, and we know who they are. The same ones that got on the racist train when Christian Horner started that whole race explosion on social media back at the Silverstone GP. They're still okay with this. A lot of people are not okay with this. You trying to say that this man, because he's getting ready to have his 4th kid, he ain't there. You trying to say because he's South American, he cannot completely focus. You want to know what this shit reminds me? And this is my time, and I'm finna go ahead and say this. Although, Sir Proudly, hoorah, there was a time in the military, there's a time in many aspects of life where they said people that look like me, my grandfather's dad, you can't have certain positions in this military to serve your country because you're black and you can't see good enough. You're not smart enough. You can't operate machinery. You could just take this mop. Those are the times that I think Marko coming from. I think that's where he is. And that's where he's more proving so to me than not proving that. So if anybody wants to defend that, say, oh, no, he don't. His actions, his words say that to me. He has the same mindset as those who told my grandfather, your grandfathers, your grandmothers, that they could not hold certain positions because they were black or of color. You cannot do that because there's no way you could be smart enough. Up until a certain point, you couldn't even be trusted to be a quarterback in the NFL because you were black and they said you weren't going to be smart enough to learn the playbook. This is Helmut Marko and his statements about Perez not being able to focus enough because he's South American. By the way, he was completely wrong about that. He can't be as focused in his head as white Max Verstappen and white Sebastian Vettel because he's South American. Bro, you sound punch drunk. 70 Dodgeman says, I know damn well y'all can see this fool in Nazi uniform. And you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and let official Lauren Brown come on in and wrap up with these 3 topics right here. I see her right here on the call. I'm gonna let her come on in. Lauren, I'm gonna give you your F1 minute. You go ahead and spit some hardcore facts. Go ahead and give them to me. What you got?
All right. Well, you can hear me, right?
Got you.
Cool. Good. Yeah. Basically, what I see is a remnant of the past, and it's hilarious. Baraka talking about '84 for many reasons, right? But specifically, like the country that man came from and the associations with that as well. What I also noticed is why is it always the comparison, as you said, between, a European driver and somebody non-European, and there's always something that distracts them. For Lewis, it was, when he's doing fashion, it's this, it's that. It's like they want to literally own these people. At least we're speaking economically. The ideology that this man comes from, doctor, was purely a play at associated, prestige, trying to get some kind of, pass. But there were plenty of doctors who have performed horrible experiments and who have shown their knowledge to be quite racist in origin. And, Dr. Helmut Marko is sounding like he's continuing a tradition, unfortunately. I do think that, lastly, I really liked the point about, sell to the Andrettis. But I will tell you this. Here's why I think that they're not trying to sell to the Andrettis. Okay. If America came in with a team that really understood fully sports, America would do what it does once it has money and backing and true intent to win, which is dominate. And for now, F1 has, I think, prided itself on being, you hear it, it's not a sport that, American drivers really understand.
That's true.
So I think they're afraid of America coming in with a serious race focus. And that just, to me, doesn't seem particularly competitive. It just sounds like they want to keep their sandbox as lightly sand-colored as possible. And I do think they're trying to keep Perez out. But if you wanna be racist, get the geography right. If you want to be out here, spewing facts about your narrative, your pedigree and your prestige, then act like someone who has prestige. And if you can't, then honestly, just retire, leave, just go. I just don't understand why this man still talks. I just have a life on a yacht somewhere, enjoy that, and just get out. Just get out of the conversation, because he's not contributing anything. He's holding the team back, and he's irrelevant. He's frankly irrelevant. I'm sorry, but
I love it. Appreciate you, Lauren. Nice to see you. Dig in the hair. Yo, hey, to me, I'm a person that says, don't mess up a good ending. And I think that right there would cap our night. Big shout out to everybody in the super chat. Big shout out to everybody in the live chat. I see YouTube is trying to mess with us. I see they disconnected our live chat. And that's probably why Kenny Bugs couldn't get on. They disconnected it. Now they successfully reconnected it. It's very funny how sometimes we start talking about these topics and people start coming on with real thoughts, real perspectives that really are about making a change, and how disrespected they feel when people like Helmut Marko do what they said. And I'm going to tell you this. I also hold other platforms accountable for not calling these type of actions out before they get to a boiling head. You too are part of the problem. But you know what? Stay safe with your paddock pass. Stay safe with your access to the team. Stay safe with your access to everything else, because you don't want to disturb that to do something that's right. You want to go with the wrong until it's so bad and blown up that you can capitalize off the views of reporting on something that's been going wrong. I feel you. You know, get your money. I ain't mad at you. I ain't here. You got to get it how you live. But we're going to get it how we get it this way. And we're going to build the foundation strong coming up. We're going to talk about things in Formula One. We're going to talk about performance. We're going to talk about drivers. We're going to talk about team principles. We're going to talk about teams. And we're going to talk about the social and economical issues that arise in Formula One, no matter how small or how big they get, because that's what we do here at Wolfpack. So big shout out to everybody coming in. And once again, salute to everybody that may have lost somebody, everybody that may have been impacted by the events that happened in 9/11. All right, keep charging forward. I want to thank everybody else for coming in. Y'all stay safe. We got another F1 Minute going to come next Monday. Join us live again. And you know, as soon as we get into the stream of another GP weekend, we off hot. For those who don't know, now you know, if Formula One's not going, we're going to race here. So I will see you all soon. Y'all stay safe. Peace out. Wolfpack.